deleted a bunch of stuff, dropped some color on here, kind of got it to a point I really liked it, and was going to work on it some more. I'll show you what I did so far. I isolated them and got them to this point, which I still didn't fully clean them up. Because these were on white, I was able to quickly grab them and isolate them, so that saved me a lot of time. There's still things I have to clean up, but I got them onto here, and the client may send some hounds that I'm going to try to work in, so I'm leaving room at the bottom, and I'm trying to leave room all around because I can already see a couple good ways to crop it, but I might use it like in other ways. I want to do with this one, I might end up doing like a test cover. Like I want to do a test print on like a booklet cover. So sort of like do a paint over on your army and then print, your army list and stuff in a nice booklet with that cover on it. So it's all custom made. So I'm going to leave that room for that because there's going to be a couple I want to do as like test prints like that for myself to see how they work out. I filled in a background color. Oops, that's probably not even it. Oh, I have this all in one layer. Interesting. So I filled in a background color and then I put, just some flames behind it. And I kind of, to get the shape. So I wanted to get like an interesting shape that goes against these. And it worked pretty well, just like this. I think it frames the silhouettes good. I'll end up, I have all the white still I have to go clean up. But I'm going to use this one. I threw kind of some ground, like this is super rough, but I wanted to get an idea. And if I can get the hounds to like work right and it doesn't overpower it, I'll put some around there. And so this is just to give me an idea of a direction. And I'll use some of the cracks. I'll have some flame coming through, but I gotta make the landscape more dramatic than that, obviously. And then I have the good old multiply layer. So I put the multiply on to go over it. And then I put on, it's an overlay. And so I started just to put a little light because I wanted to pop them out. I wanted to like, the gold I imagine as being like real sparkly. So I kind of want to play that up. But right now I'm just going to clean up some of these and then probably work on the overlay layer some, add some light, and see what I can get going on. See, I keep forgetting I made a master file here and I should be using it more. I'll blur a lot of the wings. If I do it right, I gotta watch because this will want to get really busy. Because there's wings. I want to put like stuff coming off it, and the gold should all have sparkles or whatever. But I have to cover the wings up just a little with some of it and blend it into the background so they don't look like they're pasted on. So that'll take some effort. This is an expensive photo. It's a lot of miniature there. I don't mind cleaning up the edges when, like this one, I can tell I'll get something good out of it. It's just like, okay, I got like some of the key components figured out. So then I don't mind cleaning up edges because I know, like, if I'm like worried that it's not going to look good, then I'm like, get this done. I gotta get this done so I can move it around and do all that stuff. But now I'm not rushed sweating it because I'm like, all right, I can a little more mentally relaxed. Ooh, handle, part of the handle's missing. I wonder how a corn army versus a Space Wolves army plays out right now. Should be a good fight. Only 3 concurrent viewers. Thanks for joining. And we're still at the tracing point. I cleaned it up, got some stuff organized. Now I just want to clean these up to start messing with it. Hey, Wolf Lord, King Crimson. No, you made it. Sorry, I was jamming to some Bonnie Taylor, or I would have been here sooner. Yeah, Wolf Lord Lewis. I was saying how a game would go right now between Space Wolves and an army of Corn, because they're both kind of attack armies. And he says, in my experience, it ends badly for the Corn army, but then I do roll lucky. Oh yeah, and Corn versus Blood Angels, I could see that fight. The only reason I think Corn versus Space Wolves is because you get the good contrasting colors. My army would be snobs, and they wouldn't fight other armies that they clashed with color wise. And be like, no, it wouldn't make a good battle aesthetic. It wouldn't make good Instagram, like future Instagram. We're not fighting those armies. Those pictures will come out gaudy. Nobody puts Sladesh in a corner. It's like if anyone ever goes to do this, clean up all your edges right the first time, because even though I've done 300 of these, I still want to skimp out on edges, and then I regret it every time because you put like a light effect on it, and then it has this weird halo, and then you erase it after, and you have to erase the other one after. So it's another thing I hate doing, but gotta do it. It's always the boring basics that get you. Yeah, I haven't played in a while. Those the battles that were always the fun are like when you get some ebb and flow in the battle, where it's not just a straight whooping. Because I imagine like in 40K there must be quite a few mismatches where stuff happens. A lot of little holes in the wings. Yeah, maybe I should pattern my streams off of Bob Ross. It'd be like if Bob Ross did demons. Totally chill guys. Now we're just gonna paint a little demon here. Make sure those horns are nice and sharp. Little blood specks, some little flickers of blood. Two more, two more. Clean up two more, and then do some colors. Death Guard show up and steamroll the table. Yeah, I've heard some people say that. I mean, well, it is Nurgle, and they are kind of like tough, and use Space Marines on top of it. I'll play some Necromunda this year. I know I'll get a game of that in. Oh, one of the recent tourneys had 3 Death Guard placed in the top 5. Yeah. They'll be tweaking it. They'll be tweaking the points value. Trying the old balance it. Let's balance the game. If I ever make a game, the title is going to be called Unbalanced. So then no one complains about it's not balanced, because it'll be the very title of the game. I could see that. Morty might be the most tanky unit in 9th. It would kind of make sense. And was it, didn't they kind of like relaunch them just now or something? So that kind of goes along with it. Try to amp them up, get people to buy them. Yeah, I seen a couple people talking about they think Death Guard are due a nerf. Almost, almost. Between files, sorting files, and erasing edges. Sometimes I'll see a model like on free paintover day or something, and it's like it has a simple silhouette. And it's like, oh, I'll do that one. Oh yeah, the Silent King. I saw. I finally. What was funny is I was looking up some of these models for titles on, just googling them or whatever, and I was reading some of the descriptions, so like some of the names, and at first I thought that Void Dragon was okay. So what's the deal? The Void Dragon is Catan, and they're not Necrons, I assume. Like they look totally different. So I was like, wait, were they like the old? I don't. So apparently, I'm missing a whole thing with that. At first, I thought it was Necron, but then I'm like, wait, it's got to be like a. It doesn't look them that way or something. I'm missing something. Almost, almost. Oh, Catans are the old gods who were shattered into pieces and enslaved by the Necrons. Okay, so yeah, that's something. So they are the old gods. Interesting. The 40K rules. I mean, even like 30 years ago, it was always funny because, there's just so many rules and sub rules and, for the different armies then. And now there's just like so many more armies. So, I gotta put some color behind the axe again, but we'll do that later. Turn them on. And we're gonna go here. I will select this one. This is another beefy unit. Go on to overlay with light pen. I like this part. This is a fun. Now my touch screen is froze up for a second. What did I do? I made a ton of room. There we go. I still didn't get the paper-like. I keep hearing everyone say that's a really good paper-like as a screen protect. No, I don't know if it's a protector, but it adds tooth to the screen, so when you draw on it, it feels more like paper than wax, like it does now. I'm really surprised that they don't even have like a, like an artist edition where they just sell it with that type of screen. But I do know they say it dims it ever so slightly because obviously it has a little tooth so that disperses the light coming out. I think I chopped some off this chain that I gotta put back later. gave me a little buffer warning. I do wish they had an 11 by 17 iPad. I would go bigger. Oh shoot. I need to keep track of layers on this one. This is a huge piece, so I don't get many layers. Oh, and the puppy came in. I'm sure I'll have to go for a minute or two here in a second. I'm gonna blur a few things here. So these wings, I use perspective blur on most stuff. Because I'll probably, I don't know if that's too much or not. That's almost too much for me. Yeah, give me 1 second. What I will do is we will go to a different one. We'll give you a different gallery selection and go for a playback. This one will make a good playback. There. And I will be right back in 2 minutes. I will have to start looking into the tournament scene. I haven't read. I got last month's White Dwarf, and I got a. There's a lot I didn't read. I probably didn't read 3/4 of it. I still got to catch up on that one, and the new one's coming out. They are jam packed with stuff these days. It helps me. They have little articles. I didn't read. There's a couple short stories in there. One's ongoing. I missed January's because I bought a subscription, but I bought it like December 20th, or I don't even know, December 14th or something, and then so I missed January and I didn't know it. All right, back to blurring. Oh, there's a piece I didn't erase. I forgot this Thai restaurant has $5 pad Thai today. And it's good. It's like their big Tuesday promotion. I didn't go get any for lunch. I should have. Disgustingly resilient is the -1 to damage. Is that what the skill called is? Disgustingly resilient. See, back in the second edition of Day, you never had to worry. You just brought a vortex grenade and pray you hit, which you never did. Ooh, there I put some blur kind of behind on that wing behind the axe. That helps the axe pop more. Might have to blur another section of it, and that works pretty good. Then I'll kind of fade the wings out or paint over them slightly, you know, just to introduce some atmosphere around so they're not so powerful. I want the bodies to pop a little more. And if you get the time later, I can explain the whole Necron storyline as of ninth. I might have to take you up on that one day. We'll do it in the Discord chat. That'll be a good place for it. Catch up on all the lore. I'm going to time-lapse replay this one, and I will be right back again. All right, back again. All right, some motion blur helps. And I'll be able to soften the wings a bit later. But I can already tell it's going the right way. Yeah, no, there's so many. Like I have to look at how they do all the stratagems and all that stuff nowadays. That's a lot of points in bloodthirsters. That'll make anybody pause. You better Inquisitor off if these ones are coming after you. Yeah, I shouldn't do that. I'm going to put some light on the wings, but I'm trying to get them to fade into the background, so best leave that off for now. I'm debating if I want to smudge the wing itself or if I want to get a layer over it and kind of slightly brush, like airbrush over it. We're going to do that first because I think it's more forgiving. That works. Yeah, that'll help on these back ones. That's pretty cool. Do a little light like that just to catch under the wings, make it look like it's coming out. Do the same over here. I'll have to look. I haven't looked at a. I'll check that out myself, just because I haven't seen, a full scale army list in quite a while for those. So I'd be curious, just points cost wise, what it goes for, what the point scale is these days. Yeah, I'm gonna. There'll be some fog, and I'll make the swirls and stuff around them in a little while. Because there's definitely got to be some in front of them, and between them and all that good stuff. Just a fine line of not wanting to overdo it. Yeah, that'll look cool. Their armor comes out, that little tint layer. I usually like it because it just saturates things a bit more. Like, especially if the photograph is a little, if you put white background, because of the reflective light and all that good stuff, it tends to almost wash out the colors a bit. So I almost try to put, like, usually it's like a warm, I don't know, brown or almost yellow, just to kind of make those colors pop a bit more. Put red specks all are almost like what I imagine, like it's like a bloodthirster, like they're so jacked up and they're so like it's almost like they're so pumped up that like out of their pores, instead of sweat, like blood comes out of their pores. They're just like producing so much or whatever. So it's like their sweat is kind of like blood. Let's see here. Tom Williamson, thanks for making it. You love it? Thank you. Gonna try. The composition, I left it wider then I left more room because I might try the hellhounds or whatever on the bottom. Oh, I should kind of pull up the top a little, because if I end up putting it in booklet format, I want room for a nice title at the top, like your army name. That would be really cool. I mean, they got fire on the hooves of some of these, so I'm gonna go with it. I don't want it to look like it's jetpacks, though. That's good looking, kind of jetpacky. They don't have jetpack feet. I gotta be careful with jetpack feet. Blood for the blood god, yo. I didn't know I was such big into sparkles until I did paint overs. Apparently, I like sparkles, like little sparkles everywhere. I didn't know that about myself. I started doing paint overs, like, oh yeah, more sparkles. Like the light brush and glitter everywhere. It's not glitter, it's whatever. Hell, fire, gold. Oh yeah, hit the like button. hit the like button. You gotta do that. I will end up putting. I'm gonna adjust the ground a little later. I want to do the bring the hellhounds in and see if I can get anything working. It might be too busy. Like this is on the verge of too busy, but surprisingly, the composition ended up really good on this. To be honest, I thought it would take, and I really like this one. So I was like, oh, I put the light behind it. I was like, let me just put a little light behind it in color and see what I get. And then after I did that, I was like, all right, it reads like 4 monstrous bloodthirsters coming after you. Sparkle shine. Yeah. It's funny too because I really love that dark, like washed out color, almost black and white effect of, you know what I mean, in 40K. But yeah, you can't help it too. You see like this gold, and I'm like, oh yeah, it should be this shiny gold with fire, brimming around it and stuff. So it's kind of cool about the hobby. There's a lot of different things you get to make. And I know I'll never have four bloodthirsters in an army, so this is like my chance to play with them. It's like play with the toys you'll never have. When I was really young, I think I went and visited a friend of mine like on summer, and I forget what camp he had, like basketball camp or something like that. So you'd be doing that later in the day, but I was staying there, so they were gone, and I was in the house, and they had, I don't know how many boys there was, like 4 or 5 sons, and they got them like a million GI Joe figures and Star Wars figures. There's just like literally they probably had, I don't know, I want to say over 100 of them, and they would be gone. And so they had a ping pong table and all these action figures. So then I would sit around there, and I would do this huge, I would take them all and like do like these massive battle scenes, So they're, I just always remember I had one, like he had a spear. So I had you remember how like the waists used to pull apart? And so I had him like, I snuck the spear tip in there, and he's like impaled on it. So I did these huge battle scenes when they ended up coming back out of all the figures laid out. The good old days. I can't believe how much time now I spend on paint overs. It just, you know what I mean? It wasn't like it was some grand plan to, oh, I'm going to do paint overs. So it's funny how it all panned out during the apocalypse. Never know till you try. Go here. We're going to put a layer on multiply. Try to, oops, use the master list. Even though I should not get rid of the rest, but it's like it always wants to start me in the middle of the menu, so I may have to pull that one down into that area. That is dark. Oh, that looks cool if I get that depth right. Yeah, that way they really look like they're coming forward. That'll be cool. Why is the sound annoying right now, King Crimson? I did buy. I got one of those like clip-on mic type things and stuff. So we'll see. I should listen back to a few of these. Oh, so you mean? Wait, you mean like? Yeah, I'm gonna sit here when I'm by myself. I just like say stuff, and then have people applaud for me, so I can be really self-centered. I'm naturally funny like that. But yeah, I know. So I gotta get some more sounds. We can get different ones up there, and I'll have to use it more and more. So like, there's a I can tell, when I'm in paintover mode, I'm not really thinking about, hey, I should be doing this with you know what I mean, the scene. So that's part of like, I was like, do it. It's the same with like I was doing paintovers. I'm like, do it hard for a year. You know what I mean? Like, go hard at it. And so I'm kind of trying to do the same thing this time with YouTube. And it's like, just, learn to stream and all that. And I figure through the process of that, I'll get, a more entertaining show and stuff like that. Because I got to figure out what people like and all that good stuff. Yeah, I'll get 100 different ways of applause, and then I can say something. Oh yeah, I know there is some good ones too. I thought about it, but then wait, I was like, oh, I want to use little clips from movies, and I'm like, oh gosh, yeah, I'm gonna put a clip from a movie and then get some copyright strike and all that stuff. So I was like, oh, don't do that. We'll get some. I know. I think I can record them and whatever, so it's not like I can get pretty much any sound. Just to the North Star. Oh no, I didn't put that one on. I put on like a month ago. I still haven't finished it. I will. I started watching Ninja Scroll again because that thing at the time when I saw it was incredible, and I started watching Helsing. I got a couple in there because I never saw Helsing before, and there was a couple like I don't know. They do like a music video mashup, and they had some of the scenes from that. And I was always like, oh wow, there's some seriously strong visuals in that. So I think I was on like I don't know episode 2 or something with that. Like, how about a soundboard, and then I'll put the sound of my pen tapping onto the soundboard, so you can hear 2 tappings at once. You're already dead. Ooh, wait. Another thing I want to do. Speaking of anime and blah blah blah, I use a version of speed lines on a lot of these. Let's see what we get. Did you say yeah, Helsing is pretty neat? Oh no, Dandy Man seems you activated the loot grid. Sorry, was from the Team 4-star abridged. Yeah, I know. If you're speaking of, I know there's a few different versions of that. I think I'm seeing it on Hulu. So I don't know which version it is. I don't think it. Wait, is it Helsing Ultimate? I can't remember. I'll have to look. Let's try something. And I eventually I do want to do some shows where like I'm not drawing. So, I can envision it now. Like I'm not to that point or whatever, but I can see doing some stuff where then I can more focus on, speaking to you all and kind of maybe, going over other stuff and things like that instead of always just me doing paint overs. I forgot I even got the little pop-ups. I forget what they even say. Whoops. I never caught Dragon Ball Z. I was kind of out of stuff by then. I know it got super popular. I want the sound effect from it was like the PC version of what's the Space Hulk, and they used to have the Terminators on there. They used to do this one. It's like we bring death. It was like just their canned responses on that game were classically funny. Whatever, man. Da Vinci couldn't make things sparkle like I can. One of your first sketches was Team Gohan in the cell fight. What were some? Gosh, like I think I was sketching before I was into comics. Actually, I know I was, but then I think comics. I can't remember if it was. I think comic books was slightly before D&D to me, but they're both kind of around the same time. And then yeah, I did comics and D&D stuff like all the time. That was kind of my I used to like knights and stuff, so that was kind of my first thing, and then obviously knights translated into Dungeons and Dragons. In the grim dark future, there is only war and sparkles, lots and lots of sparkles. All right, I'm going to leave you for a minute. I'm going to. Which one do we want to replay? Oh, this one. You were here for it, and then I reworked it. I'll show you where I'm at with it now. We'll give you the long. This one went a ways. I will be right back. My studio space is half trashed. I had like 4, 5, no, 6. One's kind of storing stuff in it, but I have like 6 boxes here. They're like underneath a 6-foot folding table. I never ordered anything until this whole Wolf Lord Lewis, you have a good evening. Thanks for stopping in. Get some rest. Uh-oh. Hit the layer limit. I don't think I need these for anything. I can always get them back if I really have to. This layer can go. Still keep all the duplicates. Oh, I didn't add one. I use this a lot. It's too yellow. I'm going to watch the replay. Sometimes it helps sort myself. I think my favorite part is when I put the shaded layer over and then I put that overlay layer over and go over with a light pen. That to me is when I can start to see what it's going to look like when I do this part. So I put that shaded layer, then I put another layer over and bring stuff out. That's probably like the most fun for me because it really starts to look like part of the scene. I can't get too busy with it, so there's a lot going on, between axes and whips and wings. So I don't want to get too crazy. So it's a fine line of adding the right stuff and then making it look like a complete clown show. maybe some of this. I'm just staring at it. I think it's cool, actually. Yeah, this thing is cool. That's a lot of bloodthirsters. Where's this layer? I need to alpha lock it. I think I need to alpha lock it. I'm trying to. I put this layer over the top, but then I darken the background. So then this layer looks too light. So I want to darken it again. I think that works a little better there. Bottom I'm going to spruce up a little, but I'll wait and get some pics later and see if I put hellhounds in there. I don't know how it'll work for the sense of scale because I'm not familiar with the size difference. I mean, I know it's got to be a bloodthirster should be massive compared to that, but sometimes I might force the perspective or something. At the bottom, it'll end up, I don't know what. That's kind of like plain, so there's going to have to be some. I got to be careful because I don't want to do too much light. So it'll end up a little funky because I want it kind of like pittish. Someone had brought that up earlier, like, like they were coming out of a pit. I kind of dig the concept, so I want to like maybe not be 100% true to that, but sort of stick with the general idea. And then the other thing is I always want to, like, I should be cropping it now because when you crop it, it really changes what you're going to work with. But I want to leave it big so I can crop it a few different ways. Let me see. I better be able to undo this. I always get nervous even though I've done this a million times. Let me see where I would crop it. Yeah, see, I should go higher with the sky too. Because if I was going to do it and have a title, it should probably be like that. Maybe even a little higher, probably that. But I don't want to clip it just yet. Let's hope the undo works. Yeah. Got to do the right thing around, like maybe right behind the guy who's kind of in the ground. Maybe I'll do kind of the bright pit right behind him. I think I might be able to pull that off. because then between the wings kind of block it, so it won't be a total bright thing. I do know I'm going to raise the sky. So let's do that. This is always a horrible part. I think it was this color. Now let's see what we got. There, raise the sky. See, team armchair general. Now it just needs the Codex Corn Demons title. Exactly. That's why I was like, well, I'm leaving more room because I'll crop that down. And I want to put a title on it. I want to do an army book with this one. It looks kind of perfect for it. And there's like one or two others that I'll see if they, have something they want to put inside because I got to do a test print anyway. So I would just print one just because I want to see it. I want to see the printer quality and. God, this looks kind of cool though. Heavy tapping. I want to mute it Armchair general. Had a filter to make it look like a gun camera recording for sure. I it's, saying that made me think of World War II. Thinking of World War II made me think of, I haven't played it yet, but my friend has a good VR setup. So he plays that Half-Life game, which he says is the most incredible thing ever and ruined him for other video games. But I thought, wouldn't it be cool in the VR head setup? I mean, you could imagine like a 40K game or like a World War II game. You know how they had the belly gunners on those World War II ships? So imagine a VR and you're like in a glass bubble on the battle on the bottom of a flying vehicle, and you're playing a 40K game, you know, and you're shooting at all the other planes in VR. That would be pretty intense. He said he ran into a wall while playing, and he said you better have a strong heart because it will give someone a heart attack. Stuff's cost so much money. What I was thinking of, I seen that people do the artwork in VR, so they're painting in the virtual thing and moving it around and stuff. And I was like, wow, I need to grow AE fast. Oh, I heard that. Cockpit games, Ace Combat 7 had 3 missions like that. Okay. Like, and you could get all crazy. Like VR, you could have, imagine one person flying, one person gunning. That'd be just so crazy. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, a whole game of that would totally get repetitive. But these days, they would probably get the addiction specialists in on it and help make it addicting, so you always play. I need more brushes again. I got to get more brushes because I've used them a lot now, and I'm comfortable with a lot of them. I did pick up some not too long ago, but there's a lot of time saving things. And I started all with hand, so my instinct is to like do everything as slow as it would be by hand instead of using, like, I'll do it now more obviously, but like smoke brushes and Photoshop and all that, you use a lot of textured brushes. Where I would always want to just be using like one tool and kind of mimic like hand painting, which kind of misses the whole point of being able to do it digitally. Yeah, I know. Some of the stuff, and I have to see it because that the Half Life game, he says it's like super intense. There's like a part where a creature tracks you by like sound, so you can't make anything, and it gets all creepy close and everything. So he says like that was just like the craziest thing. And this is the part where I'll put in a whole bunch of stuff and try it, and then I'm taking it all out because I'm just, if it gets too busy, like compositionally right now, this is really strong. Even the what I should do here too is do this sometimes. So I take a copy of it, which combines all the layers. Oh, hopefully I can do this. Yay, the layer limit didn't get reached. And now I desaturate it to see how it looks black and white. So then this lets me know I'm going to need more. It's kind of gray, so I need more contrast in some of those spots. So I will end up bumping up some of these pretty good. And you don't go as full on as you would just if it was black and white, but you'll get close. I'll probably bump up some of the background, like the deep far background, make that pretty much brighter. And how I will do that, let's see. Oh yeah, the VR game Alex, that's what it is. Oh, have you played it? Feels like we should have the cool guys don't look at explosion song in the background. Totally. It's like everything. good, good call. Yeah, it's like four cool guys, super explosion, and they all leap away ready for it. They use the explosion to propel themselves. That's how ready they are for it. Which, speaking of which, I should see. That's a good call because I will amp up a few things just with this. I want to give it a little bit of an explosive. Right, what am I doing this on? Okay, I can always erase it. A little bit. Maybe too much. I debated that. So you had, yeah, because I would almost with the red I would almost want to go teal sometimes, but like part of me wanted the super hot in theme with it. So I kind of wanted to roll with it. And I just figure, I make it kind of like a brown, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, it's same family. I hope I don't regret it, but I don't think so. It looks pretty strong to me. Oh, but I do use the orange and blue. I guess not a lot because it did annoy me when it was after Terminator 2. As soon as Terminator, I mean, I know other movies did it beforehand, but they did it like everything became the, what is it, red on the right or blue on the left, and where. And sometimes over at the end, I put like an add layer or whatever, and I add a little bit of other colors, sometimes just to pop it up. And with red, obviously, green one is a popular one you know, to go into the shadows and stuff. But with this one, there ain't no teals in hell. Oh, it reminds me of that whatever. Oh, it wasn't us who talked about. I was talking about someone else, but I don't know, like some '90s band, and I never listened to metal or any. No, not much metal, but like they were. Oh, Man of War with their like cheesy covers and all their stuff, and he's just cracking me up because it was like so over the top with their whole thing, and there was a couple songs there, but that's what I imagine playing to this song, to this because it's so over the top. One other crazy. The guy, I'll give the vocalist who sang that. He had a voice on him. Yeah, I'll go a little brighter on a few spots. bit. You guys are probably Team Armchair General. Are you in the UK or over that way? I don't mean to assume everybody's either in the UK or US, but generally most of the people. Get some from France.